What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Six Gaming Podcast. Filling in for your host, as always, it's Ron Klee. Shosan apparently is in Fargo.
How far?
That was a good movie.
I was waiting for something terrible to be said. Veg came close, but I mean, it was pretty bad. It was really bad. I'm sorry. Anyway, this is episode number 160. Glad you guys are here, and we have awesome, illustrious, and large co-hosts today. First, we have the awesome and illustrious one.
I heard that my face is too big, so I'm trying to sit really far back.
Hey, it works. We can still hear you just fine. It's kind of interesting. You have a good mic.
It's a snowball.
And don't throw it at me. I hate snow. And then returning for the first time, how long's it been since you've been on?
A few weeks.
Veg.
He's busy playing Eve.
No, because you answered before me, jackass. So I wasn't going to say nothing.
We'll say something.
Okay, it's been about a month because my schedule says fuck you.
Well, say fuck you to your schedule. You'll be fine.
Yeah, but that's called no bills, or I can't pay anything then.
Anyway, we have a great show for you as always, and this show starts off as it always does. Shosan is writhing in pain over the fact that he can't be here for this part of the show. This is news. I gave it an effort today.
I didn't feel I give you a C.
A C for what? Don't answer that.
A C for trying.
A C for see you next Tuesday.
C for see you next Tuesday. Okay, good. I'm just glad Veg didn't come up with a C for something else. Anyway,
C is for cookie, and that's good enough for me.
We're starting off with some Blizzard news here. And it looks like if you go to Blizzard's career page and look at all the job postings, they're looking for talented and experienced senior or principal designer to develop weapons and abilities in an action or first-person shooter games. They want to hire. They also want to hire that has passion for playing and creating PvP game experiences. But this isn't for Overwatch. What could this possibly be? Maybe
StarCraft Ghost.
StarCraft. Yeah. So it looks like that. Looks like Blizzard's doing something. Of course, this isn't the first time we've seen job postings like this. I mean, we've seen Diablo-related job postings and haven't really heard much about it since. We do know that they will cancel projects internally all the time, but a lot of people are kind of expecting maybe Blizzard's going to follow this battle royale trend with some of their.
God, I hope not.
Why is that?
Because it's dumb. It's just a fucking phase.
It's just that you think it's a phase.
But like you could say RTS was a phase. I mean,
yeah, for what, 20 years, 30 years?
So maybe Battle Royale will be going on for years.
It's already dying out. Like, yeah, it's top not that long ago, but at the same time, people are already sick and tired of it and are looking for something else now.
I'm curious now. I'm going to go look. Twitch.tv/directory. Number one game with 197,589 viewers. Fortnite.
Yeah, go figure. Because it's all the fucking 12-year-olds playing it.
Number two is League of Legends with only 76,000.
Only.
PUBG
is probably number 3.
No, IRL is number 3 with 69.
Real life gets third place.
It's all those girls like painting their bodies with paint or whatever.
I
told you, Ron's fucking dumb.
Excuse me.
No, because you said that. Oh, they don't do that, or they're not doing nothing like that on Twitch. When Penn even knows firsthand, yeah, because they're cam whores, Ron.
You're talking about the cam whores. Okay, this is going back to discussion before we came on air. I don't see any cam whores on here. These are mostly male.
Not right now. They usually come on around like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well,
there was one during the last week. I saw there was definitely some girls, and the chat was full of really thirsty guys.
Jesus Christ. Twitch chat, you guys are lovely. So yeah, Blizzard looking like they're going to be doing something new very soon. We'll see what that is. Lots of Korean.
Lots
of Korean. Yes. That seems to be a thing. So I don't know. Do you see that one guy's hair?
Yes, I see that guy's hair. It's amazing.
It's super amazing. I want to know how he does that. That's kind of cool. Kind of scary too. I mean, if I saw someone out in the street with that, I'd probably be backing away from him. But it's perfectly fine and accepted on Twitch.
Bald. I assume you're talking about the dude that looks like he's got a tiny little top bun thing. He's just bald. It's something behind him.
Oh,
yeah. I just clicked on his channel.
Anyway. So we have a hardware issue here with Samsung, Hynix, and Micron are all slapped with a class action lawsuit over DRAM supply collusion and price gouging.
Surprise. Not really if you try to build anything in the last few years.
Indeed. It's like the average, what is it, price per megabyte has in some cases doubled or more since mid 2015 or 2016.
It used to go down and down and down, and now it's fucking it. Oh my God. Don't scroll too much through IRL or you will enter the scary zone.
I want to see this.
Wait, how far down?
Yeah, how far down?
I will.
Like how many viewers? Number of viewers?
34.
34 viewers. Okay, I'm scrolling.
I already found one, two.
Oh, I can't even scroll that far. It's not letting me.
I'll link it.
Twitch, please don't link it. Do not link it. Whatever you do.
Link it
do not link it.
4.
Okay, there we go. You said 34.
5.
Yeah.
6, 7.
34.
Well,
I don't see
8.
it. What am I looking at? I don't see it.
A guy slathering himself with condiments.
Oh my goodness! Turning myself into a literal sub sandwich on the channel Candy's Black. That is so good. Only on Twitch.tv, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, here's the thing. I struggle to get more than like 1 or 2 viewers that aren't people that I'm like, hey, can you please watch my channel for a little while? And this guy has 34 people where he's like spreading mustard on his face.
No.
Like I'm clearly doing things wrong.
You are.
I
don't know. How desperate are you for viewers is the question.
I found 12 cam whores throughout the scrolling down, so.
Well, Veg knows what he's watching, right? But yeah, we had a multiplayer beta come out for a particular game, Stardew Valley.
Co-op.
Yep. Co-op Stardew Valley. And I know a lot of people that literally
cannot go to class.
Yeah, pretty much. I've literally seen people just drop what they're doing and play this game ever since it launched this week. It's just insane how many people are up and into this. It's interesting. So yeah, grab a friend, go farming.
I want to go farming.
Well, then grab a friend and go farming.
Well, I don't have friends.
Well, then
so
you can't play co-op. Sorry.
Speaking of when we talked about Blizzard maybe making a new game because of something kind of ambiguous, CD Projekt Red, they have an exhibitor directory for E3.
Mm-hmm.
They're presenting an RPG.
Oh boy.
And that's all it says.
RPG. We'll see how that works.
So Cyberpunk, maybe, perhaps, hopefully.
Yep. So we'll move our focus to speedrunning here. And of course, you think of speedrunning. What is like the one iconic game that you think of for speedrunning?
Mario 64.
No.
The other one.
Oh, Zelda. No, I mean, not Zelda. Fucking Metroid.
Yes, Super Metroid. Save the animals. No, save the frames, damn it. Save the animals is the wrong choice. But yeah, there is a speedrunner by the name of Volrat who plays other games like Link to the Past, Claymates, and he also plays Super Metroid. Well, his Twitch channel hit 1,000 subscribers recently, and he held a 24-hour stream to celebrate. And among the festivities was a Super Metroid run where he lathers his controller in Vaseline.
It was amazing.
Why?
Just because. It's just amazing.
I mean, this isn't the first time someone's done something like this. That's the scary part.
And I was wondering, like it says, like he accidentally launched some missiles during the run that he didn't mean to do. Because I was like, well, I wonder if it affected him at all. Because like, okay, Vaseline's slippery, but the controller, whatever. But yeah, it screwed him up.
You guys need to get a load of this. This is ridiculous. Look at that. Look at that. You see that?
Yes.
Do you see that? I mean, wow.
That's an
original controller too. That's not. That's.
Do you think it's ruined now?
It's probably ruined. Yes, I would imagine. He was highly concerned the controller wouldn't last the full run and had no clue what kind of impact Vaseline would have on it. But yeah, doesn't actually explain if the controller survived. But holy crap, speedrunners are insane, very insane. That's hilarious. So moving on, we have this news sucks. Guys, cancer sucks.
Yeah,
cancer sucks. And
fuck cancer.
Fuck cancer. And cancer has forced our favorite cynical Brits into a retirement of sorts. So he's not going to be. He's not going to be doing a whole lot. He's still going to be doing stuff on YouTube and Twitch, but it just sounds like that he's kind of starting to back away. A lot of the when we last reported on him, we talked about potential clinical trials. Well, his liver's not good enough for that, so really hard to talk about because this seems to be going one way, and I think we all kind of knew this was going one way, and getting to the end, unfortunately. So, of course, Total Biscuit he's had an impact on, whether you know it or not, he's had an impact on most, if not all, of gamers out there, just from his influence alone. He's a pretty interesting individual overall, and it's going to suck to have this happen. So, yeah, wish him all the best. We'll see what happens. So, good luck.
I mean, he said he's not going down without fighting. So
he's fighting, that's for sure. So, we have a little bit of older news here, but we have a game that came out on the. This is coming out this week on the 8th?
Yes.
A game called Pillars of Eternity 2: Deadfire.
Yep. So this was the original one was a Kickstarter. It was a whole bunch of people that worked on all the old Baldur's Gate and all those isometric. What was that company?
Oh geez.
Fuck. This is like the old Dungeons and Dragons.
Now I have to look it up.
BioWare. BioWare, Interplay, Forgotten Realms, anyway. Beamdog was the original one. Anyway, so I've been playing it, the original one, which I just bought at some point. And they did a Kickstarter, and they funded very, very early to the first day, and they hit a whole bunch of stretch goals. Anyway, so it comes out on the 8th, and one of the things that I was not aware of, which I don't know if they had announced this even earlier, but all the people on Critical Role, so Matt Mercer and et al., do voiceover on the new game, and they actually have like a bunch of assets that you can get, so you can create your own adventure, basically with the characters from the Critical Role podcast show. And on top of that, one of the stretch goals was that they were going to have more voice acting, and they just decided to say screw it, and they have 100% voice acting throughout the entire game.
Damn.
And this is a multi-100-hour. This is probably at least 100-hour game plus DLC. So it's an enormous amount of very high quality voice acting. The game looks very cool. They have like a ship, multiple ships, I think, that you can get and sail around in. So I would recommend it to you guys if you like RPGs.
Kind of cool. And moving on to some Overwatch stuff, we had, I feel like we almost talked about something similar to this last week. With the,
similar.
What was it last week?
It was PUBG.
It was PUBG last week. Yeah.
Aimbot.
the PUBG aimbots that got fined in China. And this one, now it's in Korea, and we're talking about Overwatch. We have some hackers hit with a $10,000 fine. 13 offenders were arrested, and 2 of them received their sentences.
I always love the argument for hack, like aimbotters, like, oh, they're not hurting the game in any way. Yeah, they are. They're ruining for other people. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly. Yeah, it completely throws off the balance of the matchmaking rating and stuff like that. Speaking of matchmaking rating, that kind of leads into the next story rather well. People are starting to notice that your placement matches kind of don't matter.
At all.
Like, at all. Yeah.
Really?
Like once you get placed and you have a rating, and at the end of the season you have a rating, and you do your placement matches the next season, your rating it appears to not be getting reset, but rather you just don't see your rating for 10 games.
Right. So it's like if your rating is, say, 1,700 or something, and you end the season, and then you play like a bunch in the off season, but not competitive, and then you get really, really good, like you'll come back and your rating will probably be like 1,750 or something, even if you win all your games and are amazing. Or conversely, if you're really, really good and then you lose all your matches in the rating the next year, it's not like you're going to start at 1,000. You'll start at like whatever, 2,000 or whatever you were near to your last season. So it's really just a huge waste of time not being able to see your rating during that time.
Yeah, and Blizzard hasn't said anything about this. I don't think they necessarily need to, but at the same time, it would be nice to have a little insight as to what exactly is going on during those placement matches.
Well, I mean, it's known that there's an internal matchmaking rating that you do not see. So obviously somehow they're using that to calculate your seasonal ranking, which should not be the case. Like, your seasonal ranking should be based on how well you played during your matches.
Indeed.
Or they shouldn't have seasons, one or the other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because it would be like, it's one or the other. You can't have both, because that's what it is essentially right now.
Or have seasons that don't have a reset, right? Just like, okay, today's the end of the season, so here's your reward for where you were at the end of the season. Okay, now it's the next season, and nothing resets. It's just you get awards based on where you are at that day.
Yeah, so kind of frustrating for some, but we'll see how that works out. Moving on, we have every year now, at least, the Video Game Hall of Fame over at the Strong in Rochester, New York, announces their Hall of Fame inductees. Here are the 4 from this year, and we'll see if you guys agree with these or not. The 1962 game Space War.
Huh.
Good game.
Never played it. Haven't even heard of it. It's the first I've heard of it.
Why am I not surprised?
It inspired the first mass market arcade games that helped launch the industry. John Madden Football.
Yeah.
I'm surprised this didn't make it the first time around. It seemed like when I saw that, I'm like, why didn't they do this the first time? John Madden is like huge when it comes to football. So the Tomb Raider series.
By the way, I didn't get into it. Space War is basically 2-player asteroids.
There you go. So there's also Tomb Raider, Lara Croft.
That was a great series.
Yep.
Iconic.
Yeah, because it opened up action adventure in the 3D platform.
And then Final Fantasy VII.
Sure. I know
there's a lot of Squeenix fanboys right now, Veg, that want to kill you.
They can go fuck themselves. Squeenix is. I'm sorry, but after they made Metal Gear Survive, right?
I have no idea.
Hold on, no. If they made Metal Gear Survive, then they can go fuck themselves. Let's see, who made Metal Gear?
That would be Konami, dude.
Oh, then Konami needs to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I was like, Metal Gear does not sound like Squeenix.
I don't know.
But yeah, Final Fantasy VII is like beloved by people who like the Final Fantasy series. Veg is so angry at that.
He's
gone.
He's left.
He's gone.
Bye, Veg.
Bye, Veg. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about is there's a new Destiny 2 deal going on here called the Prismatic Matrix. What's this about?
It's basically just in addition to the previous ways you could earn gear and shit, Now they have a new kind of loot box that has sort of like knockout items. So like when you get it's basically you get less duplicate, you get fewer duplicates.
Right.
But it's still all the same bullshit. Someone calculated that it would take you like $10,000 of buying Eververse items to get everything. Even if you got good luck and never got duplicates or whatever. It's just stupid.
And you're going to get duplicates anyway.
Right. And so this month on Humble Bundle, the new early unlock is Destiny 2 without the DLC. And enormous numbers. Like they must be really hurting. I hope they're hoping that just people forget to pause their Humble Bundle monthly, because the Reddit thread was like hundreds or thousands of people like, oh, well, it looks like it's time to pause my subscription. No one wants it.
Lovely.
So, yeah, I'm still mad I bought it.
Me too. I remember I was like, what am I going to do? Buy $100 worth of loot boxes? Yes. I should have bought $100 worth of loot boxes instead of Destiny 2.
There you go.
No, it's bad. Like it's empty content. Like Destiny 1 was. There's no story. They gutted the story. They're like, oh, but it has great PvP play. I know people who still play Destiny 1 because of PvP.
I like, okay, so the single player story was amusing, like it was kind of fun, but there was no feeling of progression. I've talked about this before. There is no feel, like when you start Diablo, you like throw one dagger and things kill you all the time. And at the end of the season, you're a damn god. Like you walk around and everything just melts around you. In Destiny, it took me like 3 seconds to kill this, the bullet sponges that are hanging out around the area. And when I got all the best stuff from the season, it still took like 3 seconds. Like I didn't feel any more powerful. None of my shit changed.
Yeah.
Typical.
Yeah. So it was shitty.
So there's that.
So don't buy Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Pause your Humble monthly.
Any other news that you guys got this week before we move on to esports stuff? Nothing. Overwatch League Stage 3 concludes tomorrow with Boston playing the Los Angeles Gladiators and the New York Excelsior taking on the Los Angeles Valiant. And the winners of those two will play each other to see who wins the Stage 3 playoff there. And yeah, it kind of sucks because Shanghai didn't get a chance to play anyone that they could beat this week, and they're 0-30 after 3 stages. Yes.
Ooh.
Ouch.
It was rough. But Boston undefeated so far this stage, 10-0. So congrats to them.
Just oof.
Yeah,
that is painful.
Very painful. And it's kind of funny because every time I've said this like a couple weeks back, but every time the Dragons play, they're like the most popular team when they play.
Are they like an underdog or something?
They are totally the underdog right now.
Yep.
Everyone wants to see this team win, and they just can't do it. They've come close. They went to overtime in week 4 of stage 3 into the 5th map, but they couldn't pull out. They got stomped pretty hard. So, and then over on the League of Legends mid-season invitational, they're doing the play-in qualifier right now, I guess this is. And there's 8 teams, only 2 advance to the next round. And one of them is Gambit.
Huh.
Yes, Gambit Esports will be advancing. A couple familiar names on there, including Diamond, Edward, and I forget who their top laner is. But I know he's a old Gambit guy. And then in Group B, they play later on this evening. I think it starts 2 a.m. Pacific. There's
fuck, I'm not gonna be up for that.
I know, right? There's BAU Supermassive Esports. They're up 3-0. Dire Wolves are 2-1, Kaboom 1-2, and then Pentagram 0-3. And the only one team from each group will be advancing. So, and then next week will be the play-in. There's basically going to be just two, I guess they're 2 best-of-5s, and then the following week will be the tournament proper with 6 teams, where you have the 6 teams in the group stage, and then a 4-team knockout stage after that. So, MSI going to be going on for a while here. We'll know in a few weeks how that pans out. So that does it for news. So that means we're going to move on to the next half of the show. This is Shosan's favorite half of the show just because I started so quickly. Boom! It's a playlist, Veg. What have you
Boom.
been doing?
I've been playing a lot of Dad of Boy, aka God of War. Boy.
Listen, boy.
So yeah, pretty much it is. So I beat it. I beat it pretty much the same week I got it, but I dumped like 60 hours into it. It's so much fun. It like everyone hates some of the people hate the combat system. I think it's wonderful. You know, like, oh, it's not as like it was in the old God of War. It's like, no, they wanted to make something different, and they did. If you're expecting anything, anything the same like that, then yeah, you should play the classics.
Yep.
Long story short, he gets thrown into Norse mythology because that's where he ends up after. That's where he ends up after killing. Spoiler alerts for a game 10 years old now. After killing all the gods in Greek mythology.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but yeah.
Well, 10 years old.
Yeah, I know.
So it's really fun to play. Great combat progression, and I can't wait for the next one. So there's definitely that. I've been playing a lot of EVE Online again because reasons. And no, I'm not actually playing it right now. I'm playing what's it called? Space Wallpaper Simulator right now as I do this. So
Space Wallpaper Simulator.
Yeah, when you're not doing anything in space, you're just spinning in the station.
Lovely.
So he's playing.
I'm not playing. I'm literally not playing it.
He's watching Eve on his screen.
Yeah,
he's playing Eve.
Yeah.
You want to see what I'm doing right now?
Nope.
Eve. I know what you're doing. You're playing Eve.
Oh my god, I hate you guys.
Eve Online is running on your computer right now.
Well, no shit.
That's
I told you it's Wallpaper Simulator right now because I'm not doing anything on it.
Anything else, Veg?
A lot more War for the Overworld. They actually finally released their final expansion, which was $10. And I have to say I'm fairly impressed with it because it's actually really fucking difficult. Because you're limited to what you can do with certain, like they give you certain gods or evil overlords that you can play with, and they have certain bonuses and disadvantages to each person that you can play, and it can make it really challenging, especially if you play a certain way.
Yep.
And that's about it for me this week.
Cool. Dan, what have you been up to?
Well, speaking of Norse mythology, I just watched Thor Ragnarok. That's pretty good. And hopefully I will finish up the Marvel movies that I need to see before someone spoils Infinity War for me.
Batman died.
God damn it, Veg!
Batman is DC, you fucking idiots.
That's another spoiler.
I had to explain the difference between Marvel and DC to my son not too long ago. It was pretty funny. He's like, Batman and Superman are friends. I was like, yeah. And then he said something about and Spider-Man's their friend too. And I was like, well, sometimes, but usually not. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, Spider-Man lives with Captain America.
They got a divorce.
So that was pretty funny. As I said, I've been playing a bunch of Pillars of Eternity. I played some Saints Row 4. I was playing some of that for a while. I think I'm near the end of that. It says I'm 60%, but there's a shit ton of extra quests and collectibles and all kinds of shit that I'm not going to bother with.
I found out that they still haven't fixed their fucking bug for co-op.
No, I never played the co-op.
It's a lot of fun with co-op, but you can't finish the game with two people.
No. Well, then I won't do that.
Yeah.
You should also check your Blizzard launcher thing because I had some free shit on Heroes. Played a few rounds of Heroes. And there's some free shit.
Especially if you're on Twitch Prime.
Yep.
Yeah, you get 5 free chests.
And also
Which,
there's
by the way, Twitch Prime is going up in price.
Well, yes, it is. It's $120.
Good thing I get mine for free.
Well,
okay.
Whoever you're getting it from isn't getting it for free.
You do when you go through Amazon Prime.
No, well, that's what he means.
That's what I mean.
It's
Amazon Prime is going up $20 a year now.
God damn.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about everything you get, like Twitch Prime just had another whatever 4-5 games or something this month.
Mhm.
Now some of them are repeats, but if you figure you get 5 or 6 new games a year,
I mean, hell, I'm getting
plus-
value off my Twitch alone. That's
Yeah.
not counting the stuff I do on Amazon.
yeah. So
It's pretty value.
anyway, I've been playing random stuff, streaming a bunch of stuff. You should watch my stream so I can get 3 people.
Twitch.tv/Bentharian.
PENTHARIAN. Then I can get whatever affiliate partner, whichever is the low one.
It's affiliate.
And then Serskin can give her bits to me. And I don't mean that in any kind of euphemistic way.
Yeah.
As far as we're aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been throwing her bits at me. It's been a little awkward.
Yeah. She's like, look at my bits.
Take my bits. You take
Yeah.
it. Like, that's a little
And I
concerning.
think so I already talked about how I played Beginner's Guide. Nice fetch.
Oh, God.
I don't think I played much anything else. I've just been playing a shit ton of Pillars of Eternity. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? Reminiscent of Baldur's Gate, but the graphics are very nice. So,
There you go.
oh, and I played a little bit of Mortal Kombat X. I've
That's
never been. What?
How much is that going for now?
I got it from like Fanatical or Bundle Stars or whatever for like $7 for the Ultimate Edition that has like all the DLC and everything.
Link me it. It's still there.
No, this was like a year, 8 months ago or something. This was a long time ago. But it's I've never been very good at Mortal Kombat games, but it's fun and the story mode's kind of cool. Like you play as a certain because I guess I haven't played too many of the more recent Mortal Kombats, but it used to be you just picked a guy and you fought a bunch of people, right? And there was some text that told you what was going on. This is like fully rendered story, and you play as a character through 3 or 4 fights, and then you switch to a different character, and it tells you the story. And you can actually skip the fighting. Like if you suck and you can't beat a certain character, you can skip that fight and then just get the story and watch the story.
That's kind of cool.
But they've got and they've got all kinds of shit. Like you earn coins as you play, and then there's like this cemetery thing, and you go in and like certain gravestones cost a certain number of coins, and you use it and you blow up the gravestone and get fatalities and skins and all kinds of shit. So just casual.
So Mortal Kombat X with all DLC is $30 still.
Okay.
Not
Well,
terrible.
put if you don't know, is there any deal.com, stick it on your price list, and you can set it very, very granularly. It can be like when this game is under a certain amount of money, or like when it is the historical low, or when it is some percentage discount, and it'll email you and whatever. And it's a good way to empty your wallet.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. So I got a ping from Shosan earlier in the week. He's like, here's a fascinating video if you have an hour. I really want to go back and play this again. And he links this video from a GDC, classic game postmortem for Deus Ex. And I replied to him, never played it.
What?
Never played it.
The original
like-
one?
Yeah. And my next message to him was, God damn it, show. Because he dropped the $7 and gifted me it. So I kind of feel like I have a responsibility to play this now, and I'm going to make this one of the games I play on my 24-hour stream happen at the beginning of the next month. So so that'll be a thing.
It's a good game because it's one of those games kind of similar to Metal Gear Solid
Mhm.
in that a lot of games are very scripted, and there's one way to do things, or maybe there's a couple endings depending on your dialogue choices or whatever. In this game, like there's one part where someone's like, you have to do this first or whatever. You can do things any way you want, but the story changes based on the order you do things or how long it takes you to do things.
Right.
And there isn't like a big flashing like countdown, and there isn't like a a voice on the radio like, "Oh my God, you only have 5 minutes left. Oh, you only have 2 minutes left." It's like just the way that you do things affects the outcome of things, and you kind of have some of the information about it, but you don't kind of realize that what you're doing is going to have an outcome.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. So yeah. What I've actually been playing, a lot of 6 Degree Freedom, not sub-level 0 though, but that'll be coming. Of course, I'll be running that at GDQ in June 27th.
GDQ.
The time is now 11:31 a.m. Pacific. It keeps going backwards, so I guess runs are getting dropped. I don't know.
Is that good or bad?
It's good for me. It's not, I don't know if it's good for the people that you're getting their runs dropped, but that might be for various reasons, like they can't make it, can't afford it, stuff like that. So, but I've been doing a lot of 6 Degree Freedom stuff. I did play one game of Descent against Jedi Luke the other day. That went as expected. It was painful. It was funny though, because I was up. I was ahead 3-2. I lost 20-8. So there we go.
Ouch.
Been playing a lot of Overload. They've had a challenge from this past Tuesday to this coming Tuesday. For that week, they want you to speedrun their playable teaser level. And I was the first person to get it down as low as 44 seconds. Somebody's got it to 38. And I'm like, I don't even want to try. I'm probably gonna stream some attempts tomorrow to at least try to improve my time, get it down. They found a different route, so I'll at least try the route and see what happens. Beta testing for multiplayer has begun. That is all I will say about that, but it has happened. And then the last game I played, I talked a little bit about this because I was watching it and I wanted to get a chance to get my hands on it. This is a free-to-play game called Darwin Project. It is a mini battle royale format. There's 10 players. You can either do solo individual queue, or you can do a duo queue where it's 5 teams of 2. And there's also another person called the director that is able to come into these games and basically affect the outcome of the games. And they can be fair or as unfair as they want. Obviously, you get rated at the end of the game. So if you become a poor director, according to the players, you start losing some of the higher end abilities. Which is generally it's fine. So I gave this a try because it's free to play. Why not? You have to play 5 games. So I played 5 games. And in one of the games, I had there's these things called electronics. And electronic is basically allows you to create a really powerful ability. It allows you to use a really powerful ability. So I went to get one. And as I go to get one, my zone closes. And it was a RNG close. There's 2 types of close. You can either have the director closure zone, or it gets closed via RNG. So he closes the zone, and he didn't, but it just closed by RNG. So I went to get the electronics as fast as I could, got it out, just barely made it out. And he's like, and as soon as I get out, the director's like, "Oh man, you just barely made it." It's like, yeah, I thought I was going to die there. I thought I was going to freeze. He's like, well, let's see if you can make this. And then he closes the zone I'm in. And I have a very long run to get out of the zone. And I get out of the zone. And I'm like, I should make it. And he's like, well, you're probably not going to survive. I'm like, what? And as soon as I get to the border of the zone, there's another player on the other side of the zone that just wrecked me. And it's like, dude, you're an asshole. So he didn't get a 5-star rating from me. Let's put it that way. But I did play a few games as a director, and I actually got, as a player in one of my games, Coles. Coles showed up to play a game, and it was funny because he did rather well. His teammate sucked. He was playing in a random duo queue. His teammate died like right away. But he avenged his teammate's death by getting 2 very quick axe kills against the other team and almost managed to pull it off a second time, but was unable to. Yeah, and it's kind of funny because I thought I'd like directing in this game, and it just turns out, oh well, you get all the blame for other people's shortcomings, which is not a lot of fun. So I put that down.
Well, what do you expect when you play Overlord?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like you would think that
would
be
be
your
fair.
favorite position. Like you get to be a dick to people. I thought that would be your favorite position.
Veg, I'm only a dick to you.
No, that's a fucking lie.
Okay, I'm a dick to Kathy too.
Yeah, exactly. And then you wonder why you sleep on the couch a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I try to be fair to players, and they just don't see it that way. As whenever they die, it's not their fault. It's just this game to me just perpetuates the don't take responsibility for your own actions thing that comes up in games so often. So probably the last time I'll be playing that game, sadly. So I don't know. Some people love the directing aspect. Some people are really good at somehow making everyone happy all the time. And it amazes me that they're able to do it. So yeah, that's Darwin Project. Maybe worth checking out, maybe not.
I'll check it out because it looks interesting.
It is interesting, and it's nice because the matches are really quick. They're usually done within 15 minutes.
Do you think this will have like a competitive aspect down the road?
I have no idea. The whole director aspect makes it really confusing as to whether that's going to happen. But it's early access as well. But so far it's very well polished. The polish in this game is impressive. So I'd at least play it. I would definitely play it. I actually enjoyed playing it. I had a good time. I got like 4 kills in 5 games. And that went 0-0-1-1-2. So I was getting better as it went along. That's kind of fun. So yeah, that does it for that part. The playlist is done. That means we move on to Shosan's favorite part of the show, and this is the third half of the show. This is the all-important half. Shosan wishes he was here, but he's in fucking Fargo. And he's going to miss the roundtable. The 6 gaming roundtable, we're going to ask you guys a question. This coming from Pantherian a couple weeks ago. We actually have a backlog of roundtable questions. I'm impressed. How did this happen?
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft. That's pretty good. So the question this week that we're going to use is very simply, which game is too damn long?
Like we're gonna have to narrow that question down a bit.
I don't know.
Like what kind of game are we? Are we talking about RPGs or
any kind?
Anything. And a game that before it got to the end of the game or to whatever the end game of the game is, that you thought that this is just going on too far damn long. I'll put Wildstar.
I already know what Pensanther is.
I'll put Wildstar out there. I did not like the leveling in that game. It was very slow. We never even made it to max level.
Yeah.
I already know Pence. This is fucking Witcher.
What? No, so that's the thing is like, I'll just tell you that this came from an article. The number one on the article is Dark Souls 2, which I haven't even played it, but I agree with it from what I've seen. It's like Dark Souls 1 was like, I'm not going to call it a masterpiece because that's just really cliche, but like the storytelling through the items and the settings and how everything's connected and whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was, hard but fair. Whereas Dark Souls 2 was just like, hey, let's make a fucking really hard game because people seem to like that. And it was just stupid long and annoying. Other people said Dark Descent, Amnesia, just because it's scary, but like it takes too long because you end up just hiding in the corner. One guy said Pillars of Eternity. I don't actually necessarily agree with that because I think I'm about halfway through with like 20 something hours. And it took me almost 200 hours to get through all of Witcher 3 in one playthrough. And meanwhile, people are doing like New Game Plus and finding every single item everywhere.
Yeah.
I think RPGs, if it's a kind of game that you like, then the more of the world that exists, the better. Like I would never say there's too much of an RPG in a world that I like. I think one game that was a little bit long, and maybe it's just because I was bad at it, was Black and White. There were 5 lands. I think they could have done with 4. Because there was a lot of time where it was like trying to get your creature to do the thing that you wanted it to do. And you just spent too much time fucking around with that. And it was really annoying. Black and White 2, they fixed it a little bit. It was a lot easier to train your creature. And you could like have armies and shit. That was just easier. It was a little bit more streamlined the way that you played, which I would play another Black and White game. That's a game that I think if they did a Kickstarter, I I would be interested in that.
That's fair. I came up with another pair, just scrolling through my Steam list. First of which is 2064 Read Only Memories. You guys play that from the Humble Bundle a while back?
I have it, but I have not played it.
It's just so much dialogue, and it's just so tiring. I just couldn't get into it for more than a couple chapters. I played a little bit and was like, I guess I'm going to put this down. Another game that was kind of like that in terms of it just takes just too long for things to develop was the Day of the Tentacle. Show's going to kill me for this. But I did not like how Day of the Tentacle was
I heard it was.
I just didn't like that. So, I mean, between those and, WildStar is definitely a big one because, I felt like I was trying to go as fast as I could and we never really got anywhere, So, I don't know, Veg, what do you think?
The longest one I personally think that dragged out was Final Fantasy 14.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yeah, well, you're talking like 45-minute cutscenes.
Yeah, that's why. And I know from what my friend was telling me that wasn't even the worst of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like for not Final Fantasy 14, but
for the series,
yeah. So his was Final Fantasy Series 5, I think he said his was, and I'm going to have to go with it because I've read some shit. It's just like, why? And then Final Fantasy 13, I refuse to play. Just for the same reason that Jesse Cox stopped playing it. Because it doesn't matter. All the shit that's supposed to quote-unquote change the future in the game, it doesn't. It doesn't change nothing. Nothing changes. So why the fuck do you play it to change it? You're going to have one story ending. And, it doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter how many times you do it. It doesn't change the game. Fuck that.
Do we have an angry Veg on our hands?
A little bit.
I'm with Veg. Any game where you're the goddamn savior of the entire universe or whatever, and you save everything, and people are like, "Oh, hey, I was an adventurer like you." Like,
I took an arrow to the knee.
I don't need every single person to fall on their knees and worship me, but that'd be kind of cool if that happened. Like, if when you beat the game because you saved everything and they crowned you king of the world or whatever it was, if when you walked around every single NPC, it's a lot of work for post-game play, but if you finish the game and you save everyone, you should be able to walk around and have people just fall on their knees and thank you for saving their lives against certain doom.
Well, it's not even that. I'm not even going to spoil it because it's a weird game to begin with, and then the ending's even worse. Like it has nothing to do with that, but you would think that your actions would change a little bit of the outcome for the ending. It doesn't. It has nothing to do with worshiping or anything like that. It's just it doesn't matter what you do in the game. You could literally have you could have done the least amount of work in that game, and you still get the same ending.
Oh yeah, well, so now that's the kind of Mass Effect 3 kind of love stuff. Where there's some cutscenes at the very end that show oh, and this character did this because you did this, instead of actually changing the action at the end.
Yeah, pick your color, red, green, or blue.
I picked nothing.
Oh, you let everyone die.
I picked Buzz. No, I picked green. Although I did find out that Buzz Aldrin did the voice of the guy of one of the endings.
Yeah,
that's cool.
No, he did it for all the endings, except for
all
all the ones where you don't try to shoot the one kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was pretty cool, but it's just why? Your thing doesn't matter. I ignored the reviews. I wanted to see how the gameplay was. The story is fucking phenomenal up until that point. And then you realize
I think I've heard that. Play the whole game, but then just quit before the last mission.
Yeah, because you'll be too angry.
Cool.
I literally chucked my controller. I was that mad.
Show? You've grown.
He's grown younger and fatter. No, it was I even had Ellie go, "What the hell is or my wife go, "What the hell is your problem?" I was like, "This game is bullshit." And I just walked out of the room for 5 minutes. I was so mad and disappointed because they had so much to go with, and they just took the lazy route.
Yeah.
You know, they made like 30, 40 hours for some people. Mine was, I think, 70 down the tube.
Veg, did you play Fuel?
Oh my god, I'm so glad I didn't.
You're so glad. Yeah.
Well, Exolam did.
Exolam did, and
I have to
says this
agree
ain't
with
good.
him. Yeah, that I have to agree with him. That
if
game,
we're gonna go with racing games, what was the one that I
Oh.
used to play? Test Drive Unlimited 2 was also rather grindy.
that's not really a racing game though. That's more
It
of a
was.
driving game.
It's a driving game, but there's races.
Okay, so does Grand Theft Auto, but I don't consider that a racing game.
Well, true. It just feels like at times it's a race because most of the time you're doing things against the clock anyway.
Well, okay, so yes and no on racing games. It depends on the rate, like the game. Like Need for Speed, like yeah, that's a racing game, but some of them are far too fucking long. You know,
That's true.
for story progression. But at the same time, I can't say shit because I do 4 or 5 hour races,
Yeah.
and yeah, like I'm only doing I'm doing a short race right now, which is only 10 laps. Which
I
is
thought you were playing Eve.
no, I never said I was playing Eve. You
You
fuckers
said you were
don't.
playing. You said you were playing Outer Space Screenshot Simulator.
Yeah, and then a
which is
whole bunch
Eve.
of yeah, exactly. And then I got bored.
And now
then
he's
I-
playing Project Cars 2.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Keep an eye on your Discord, Ron.
God damn.
veg.
So
Um,
no, like it depends. For racing, it depends. Like if there's actually a story, like another one that I thought was so fucking retardedly long was Wildlands. What the hell is it called? Not Rainbow Six. It's fuck. Who makes that? It's
I
no, it's not Rainbow Six. It's the one guy who makes all the books.
Splinter Cell?
No, not Splinter Cell.
Veg has no clue.
No, like I remember the game's called like something Tom Clancy's Wildlands. That's what it
There
is.
you go.
Oh, Tom Clancy. Okay, it was still Tom Clancy, but it was.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I forgot that he made Splinter Cell too. But no, that game is the definition. It's like the first Assassin's Creed. Like it's all repetitive, it's boring as shit, and at certain points it's needlessly hard for no reason. Like they literally just made a like a South American GTA.
Yeah,
that's it, and it's. Like the only cool thing about it is you can have 3 other people in co-op with you, and then that's about it.
All right.
That's it.
Fair enough.
It's long as shit for, like I said, for no reason. You know, you have to find certain parts for guns, and it's just a pain in the dick. And you have to actually look them up because certain areas are underground. You can't find the cave entrance easily. It's like, okay, where the fuck is this? And then it's like, oh hey, you have to go here, kill 3 people, and then sacrifice a lamb, and then bam, you may get the part.
It sounds kind of like when Ron was playing Spelunky and you had to like carry shit around and do crazy shit to get the things you want.
Oh yeah. It's a convoluted way of getting to hell. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Anything else that we can think of? I don't think so. Think we're done? Veg.
The Sims. Because that game shouldn't exist.
That's something else entirely. And I think with that, ladies and gentlemen,
Well, playing anything you don't want to play to begin with is too long to begin with.
there you go.
Agreed.
That's not.
Any game that you're not having fun in is already too long.
Yes. As soon as I start Amnesia: The Dark Descent, even getting the Nope achievement was too long.
What's
the
that?
achievement?
Open it and close it within a certain amount of time.
No, you just close it. Just close it as soon as the
Close the game.
Yeah. Too long. Too long. All right, let's get to it here. We have been and will continue to be the Six Gaming Podcast. You can check us out over on 6.gg, which apparently some people are surprised still exists.
We have a website.
I was talking about the old guild website.
We have a web. Oh, is that even up? You're talking about 6-minutes? Which
Yeah.
Is that even up?
The last time I checked,
That is
it was.
up. I am surprised that that's still up. Yeah,
Ron
you're right,
did not
it's up.
realize he was still paying for that.
I told him. I was so
I mean, there's no reason it shouldn't, but yeah, that was my God. This website, this website design. Who the fuck made this?
It's probably going to crash if you keep adding messages to that thread.
Oh my goodness! Let's not talk.
What's
about
it up to now?
Oh, that's just a constant number is all. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Yeah, 6.gg. You can find out everything you need to know about us, including our Discord server where you can hang out with us. You can also check out our archive over on YouTube. And yeah, that just about does it. So I'm going to let these guys say goodbye. Veg?
Toodaloo.
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 Dan?
Yeah, watch me on Twitch. Follow me, blah, blah, blah. Twitch.tv/Pantharian.
Shameless
I
plugs.
want tiny amounts of money.
And for Mr. Large and Mr. Redface, I'm Ron Clee. We'll see you guys next week. Till then, Dan, take it away.
See, bye.